Hello everyone and welcome to this FPL Rating Your Drafts for Game Week 1 live stream with me, Holly Shand. We have just 1 week to go until the FPL deadline for Game Week 1. It's feeling very real now. We're nearly up to 4 million accounts registered on FPL for this season. It's set to be a crazy, crazy year. Lots to talk about today. Big news in the FPL world. Gabriel Jesus injured, set to miss Game Week 1. A lot of managers ripping up their drafts. I've got my latest draft to share in case you've not seen that already. The main focus for today is that I'm going to be rating your draft. So I'm going to explain in a minute exactly how to do that. If you are in today and you're enjoying it, say hello in the chat, hit that like button. Let's try and get the stream to 50 likes. Subscribe to the channel as well. I'm hoping to get to 20k subscribers by the Game Week 1 deadline. In terms of what we're going to be doing then, on my pinned tweet on Twitter, I've put a introduction to the stream and I've said drop your drafts in the stream and then I'll rate them. Obviously, if I see you in the chat and I can see your draft on Twitter, then I'm more likely to rate it. But if you are watching back, you're not watching live, then I am going to look through quite a lot of drafts today. So hopefully you're going to find it useful anyway. Hopefully you'll see one that looks a bit like your team and you can get my feedback on it. But make sure that those screenshots are from the official FPL website or the app. Now, this is my regular Friday slot. This time next week, I'll be bringing you the Game Week 1 press conference stream with all the latest injury news and team lineups for Game Week 1. We'll be about 5 hours out to the FPL deadline, which is really exciting. So make sure you're hitting the notify button as well. That will let you know whenever a new video drops or whenever I go live. So first thing that I'm going to do, because some of you may have missed it, is have a look at my latest draft. I did post the full video for this yesterday, but I'm quite pleased with how it looks. I think the things that I'm wondering about at the moment are the goalkeeper slot. I really don't know who to choose as a goalkeeper this season. I've gone with Johnston at 4.5. I don't really know if I like any of the 5 million options more. Edison at 5.5 is a little bit tempting, but I've just not got the funds. I'm still undecided on whether to have Trent or not. I'm just not sure on his positioning this season. But then if I take him out, I don't know where to spend the extra funds. And that second striker slot is causing me a little bit of a headache as well. But beyond that, I think I'm fairly happy with this draft. It's just, you know, the Liverpool players. Do I go Salah, Trent? Neither. Do I go with a more proven second striker? They're the questions that I've got. So if we head over to the chat, see who's in today. Lots of you saying hello. Alan is in, as is Angelos. Nice to see you joining me again. LOL is in. Football is in. Member Aksha is in. He says congrats on 19k subs. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. True Lion is in. I am 1974. NDM Gaming. Detowitter. Mike Parsons is in. A familiar face in here. Harry Stewart is in. I've seen your draft on Twitter, Harry. I'll try and get onto that one. Let me make a note because I know some of these names I've definitely seen you on Twitter as well, and I don't want to miss anyone that's in the chat. Alan is in as well, as is Taraji, Luke. Some people saying you've not got Twitter, or X as it's now called. You can still get your team rated by me. Members can get their teams rated. Hopefully in the description to this video is a link to my Discord. Don't know if there is actually, but I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll drop that in the chat as well, the link to my Discord, and then hopefully it might be an easier place to do it, but just because it's just easier for me. I've done it for Twitter today, but I will go on the Discord and rate on there. Members can get their own little members area on the Discord as well, which is well worth checking out. So if you want to drop drafts on the Discord, once I've finished the stream, I'll catch up with those. And if you are watching back, that's a good place to go to get your team rated as well. So if I hop back over to my draft then, this is what I'm debating at the moment. Do I lose Trent? Now, I could lose Trent and get Salah in, but I don't know whether Salah's worth it either at the moment. If I wanted Salah in, I'd have to go down to a 4.5 million defender, and I'd have to go with João Pedro rather than Visser. So interested to know your thoughts on that one. I'm actually going to set up a poll as well on which Liverpool premium. And the options are going to be Trent, Salah, both and neither. So interested to hear your thoughts on this one. So if you can go quickly vote in the poll, and we'll look back at that in just a moment, because I think that's going to be quite an interesting one for today. 65 of you in at the moment, which is brilliant. Nearly at 50 likes on the stream, so if you haven't liked it yet, please do. So let's get into it then. Let's start looking at some drafts. So who have I seen in the... I did bookmark a few, but I did also want to look. I did see that Akshat had left his somewhere. Definitely seen you in the chat. So we'll do this one first. So Akshat says, nothing left in the bank. For now, not worried about Liverpool players. I guess that is going to answer my question. With the likes of Nkunku and Jesus injured, I prefer Nicholas Jackson as he can be nailed most of the time. I can downgrade Onana to a 4.5 million keeper, but I'm not sure about who to upgrade, Martinelli to Odegaard. I do prefer Odegaard to Martinelli as a pick. Martinelli will get rotated more, whereas Odegaard's more likely to play 90 minutes, and especially with those new Premier League rules around the stoppage time, it's going to be the World Cup style. Games are going to go on a lot longer. Picking the 90-minute men has suddenly got a lot more attractive. I don't mind Jackson as a pick. I mean, it's really hard, that second striker spot. So if you don't want the funds elsewhere, then I think Jackson's fine. Obviously, Chelsea have got some really, really nice fixtures at the start of the season. Interestingly, on the Fantasy Football Hub fixture ticker, you can see over the first 6 game weeks, Chelsea are top. You can play about with this as well if you're a member on the Hub. You can get 50% off at the minute with the Win Your Mini League or Your Money Back offer as well. So really great tool. But yeah, Chelsea's fixtures mean that Jackson is a really attractive option. We've seen him do really well in pre-season. I think he's got 4 goals and 3 assists, if I remember rightly. But that's all been with Nkunku on the pitch. So it'll be interesting to see how Chelsea shape up without him. But certainly once that Liverpool fixture's out of the way, it's nice fixtures. So when there's no obvious second striker to go for, I think it's absolutely fine to take the punt on that player and keep going from there. Matoma holds a little bit of a question mark for me. I think if you want to go with the Brighton strike midfielder over the likes of Mbomo or Eze, then I feel like March is just a little bit more nailed. His minutes in pre-season haven't been that great because he's been coming back from injury, but he's going to be more of a 90-minute man, whereas Brighton have signed, is it Adringer, if I can say his name right? He's looked really good in pre-season. I think he's kind of been... Brighton have had to strengthen their squad due to their involvement in Europe this season. But Simon Adringer is a left winger as well, and he's done quite well in pre-season. He's going to see some minutes at some point. I think Matoma will be fine over the first few weeks because obviously no midweek games for those clubs involved in Europe, bar Aston Villa, until after game week 5. So that's something to consider. But yeah, he does look like a good option. So that's something to look at. Oh, I've lost your draft now. But yeah, other than that, it looks very good. Chilwell's sitting there on the bench ready to come in for game week 2 once the Liverpool game's out of the way. I think I would actually be tempted to play Chilwell which then begs the question, if you're spending too much money in the defence, if you've got to bench Chilwell against Liverpool, I think purely attacking returns against that exposed Liverpool right side with Trent roaming forward, I think Chilwell could have a good game week 1, obviously at home, Stamford Bridge, new manager, bounce potentially. So that's something to consider. But yeah, really, really nice draft. What I'm going to do, I won't do this for all of them, but I'm going to do it for this one so that everyone can see what you can do. You can get your team rated for free using the My Team tool on Fantasy Football Hub, and it does give you some recommendations then about which players to maybe swap. I've got my team in at the moment, but I'm going to update it so that I've got Akshat's team in here. So anyone can do this for free using the link in the description to this video. I don't think we've got too many players different. Obviously, you've spent the funds on moving elsewhere. So we've got Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, Mitoma, Martinelli. So it'd be interesting to see whether the algorithm says to ditch Martinelli for Saka here. For Odegaard, sorry. Visser, Jackson. And then on the bench, Areola, Baldock, Chilwell and Mubamba. If this all adds up, then we know we've got it incorrectly. Right, I'm going to save this plan and optimise the team. It does say to bench Chilwell, to be fair to it. It's the AI transfers that we're most interested in. So this is a fantastic tool on the hub. It's free to get your team rated. You do have to be a member to do the AI transfers, but there is 50% off at the minute with Win Your Mini League and your money back. So the algorithm says to downgrade Martinelli to Mbomo in order to upgrade Jackson to Wilson and Onana to Edison. But as the team stands, I do think it's a nice squad. It's got a 97% team rating, 98% rating for game week 1, 96% rating for game week 2. So it's going to stand the test of time. So I think that's a nice team, actually. So thank you for sending that one in. I'll pick out another one in just a minute. But while you're waiting for that, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel as well. We've not even got to 50 likes on the stream yet, guys. I need you to do a bit better for me. But no, you guys are doing well, and the chat is going off now. I think we've got 98 of you in, which is phenomenal. Really appreciate all the support on the channel, all the pre-season content and everything. I'm just going to pop over to the chat, actually, to see what everyone's been saying, because I think I've maybe missed a few messages, a few hellos as well. Alan is in, Wilmash is in, Luke is in, Marcus is in, Colin is in. Nice to see you all. Alan said best FPL content creator. Thank you, Alan. That's really kind of you. Right, let's hop back on then and pick out another draft. Have I seen Marcus is in, haven't I? Let's go with Marcus then. Let me make this large so that we can see it. So Marcus, hang on. I'm going to have to go back to the other screen so that you can see this properly. Don't want it cropping out for you guys. So quite similar this one. Onana in goal. Very similar midfield and defence, but spent the funds on Watkins instead of having a strong first sub. Henry's the first sub at 4.5 is still good. Again, I really like this team. I think Chilwell's a good pick. It doesn't feel like it's losing anything with Trent. It's interesting to see how you guys are all shaping up using the funds elsewhere. I'm just still not convinced on Martinelli. I may or may not be wrong with that. One thing, I can't remember who posted it now. I covered it in my thread. It'll just take me a minute to find it. Fantasypedia posted this yesterday on Martinelli's output with different strikers. Because obviously with Jesus out, when Nketiah plays up front, it does diminish Martinelli's goal threat, improves his assist threat. But when Trossard's playing, Martinelli tends to play as the false nine and can do really well in that position. Obviously, we don't know how it's going to shape up for the start of the season. I think we will get some clues in the Community Shield on Sunday, so watch out for that game against City. See how Arsenal do shape up. But I do think it'll be Nketiah up front in that game, Martinelli left wing. But obviously, if Nketiah has a poor game, then it could all change for game week 1. I think Nketiah will be given the chance, and then if he doesn't perform, then things will change. That's what we saw last season when Jesus was out injured. So that's just something to keep an eye on. That's why I'm preferring going with Odegaard if I am doubling up. Sorry, just doing a bit of admin on the chat there. But yeah, I do like the draft. Strong substitutes there. I think they're some good picks. Yeah. I guess that quite a lot of the teams are similar. One thing... Shall we end the poll? Let's have a look. So this is quite interesting now. Liverpool premiums then. 50% are not going with a Liverpool premium. No Trent, no Salah. 15% are going with Trent. 28% going Salah. And this is quite interesting as well, actually, because we saw... Which is why I quite like this Salah draft. I'm just going to put it up on the stream again there so you can all see it. Obviously, if Trent is playing as an inverted wing-back, he did excellent in that role. Last 10 game weeks of last season, 1 goal, 7 assists. But we also need to bear in mind that even though he's still playing that position now, McAllister is playing in Liverpool's defence. Excuse me, guys. I forgot to bring a drink with me today. First world problems. So McAllister is playing as an 8, which was kind of the position that Trent was playing. And that kind of blocks Trent getting forward because McAllister's adopting those areas. And it's tending to be that Salah's being shoved wide. Done very well in pre-season in terms of assists. Whether you want assists from him or not, I don't know. But yeah, that's the thing that's of a little bit of a concern at the moment, is just his positioning. And also, that means that Trent's playing as a traditional DM rather than coming higher up the pitch in that 8 role with that licence to go forward. So that's why people are put off Trent. I don't think Salah's a perfect pick either if he's going wide, but he's still on pens. He's still going to be central when it's counter-attacks. There are a few things that we need to think about there. So he's getting assists. The other thing for Trent is that the new signing, I still don't know how to pronounce his name properly, so don't laugh at me. This guy, Sabuzlai, that was awful. He's been taking corners in pre-season, which diminishes Trent appeal as well. So because we don't quite know Trent's, positioning and how that's going to pan out, I think that's a little bit of an argument to maybe looking at not going with Trent, particularly with that tricky fixture in game week 1. The only problem is that if you don't go with Trent, it's quite difficult to then get him back in. So a few headaches there. But yeah, another good draft, Marcus, from you. I'm going to pop back onto the tweet and pick another one in just a second. Let's just have a look at what is going down in the chat. Sorry, I've just lost it there for some reason. Here we go. So see what's being said. Some interesting ones. Del Noro says, keep up the good work. Chloe is in, as is Light Rays. Milan says, McAtee is the best form, 5 million pick. Interesting, that one. Danilo says, who's better to get, Darwin or Watkins? Watkins every day for me. Oliver Mills says, Matt Turner going to Forest. Could 2 4 million goalkeepers be viable? I started last season with the 2 Leicester goalkeepers, Ward and Iverson. Absolute disaster. Daniel says Darwin's going to get minutes, I'm confident. I don't think so. I really don't think so. Few things on these forwards, guys, by the way. If we look, I'm going to show you the points prediction tool on the hub, and I'm going to drop this in the chat as well. This is another tool that's available for members, and as I said at the top, you can get 50% off now at Fantasy Football Hub for pre-season using the link in this video. It's in the description. I've just dropped it in the chat as well. You get 50% off, and if you use the hub tools every single week and you don't win your mini league, they'll give you a full refund on your membership, which is phenomenal. Looking at forwards, the thing that concerns me is minutes with Núñez, 70, 70, 70, and I think that's generous. We saw him benched in the final game of pre-season. It's not locked in that he's going to be starting up front every game. I think the number 9 shirt for him is encouraging, but it's not certain. Whereas Watkins is an absolute 90-minute man for Aston Villa. The only concern with Watkins, and I posted this on Twitter yesterday, if I can just find where it was, is this. Aston Villa, I'm going to have to put this on the big screen again so you can see it properly. Aston Villa have midweek football after game week 2 and game week 3, because they need to qualify for the Europa Conference League. Now, there's no guarantees that Watkins will even be in the squad. They may field a, third-rate team for that one and focus on the Premier League games. But add into the mix Aston Villa's fixtures. If I get those up on screen as well. They've got 3 away games in their first 4. They've got Newcastle away, Liverpool away, Chelsea away in their first 6. 4 away games in 6, the European fixtures. This is what puts me off Watkins. And, he has been a 90-minute man, but he will see his minutes maybe managed a little bit more this season than in previous seasons because of the European involvement, particularly if they get into the group stages. So that's just something else to consider when you're making these decisions. But some really great tools on the hub with the My Team tool, the AI transfers, the predicted points, the fixture ticker. I did put it on the screen at the top. If you haven't seen the ad, by the way, I'm in the ad with Micah Richards, which is really cool. But yeah, that 50% off offer, can't get my words out. It's really great to take advantage of. 50% off, win your mini league or your money back. It's a no-brainer for me. I've been using the hub tools for years, basically. I think I've been a hub member since its infancy, about 4 years ago. Fantastic suite of tools, great writers. But it's all tailored towards helping you guys win your mini league. That's the main focus. And that's our main focus playing FPL. We want to succeed. And, all the advice on there is all tailored to help, especially with the AI as well. So if you're not a member already, do check it out. Right, let's get on to the next draft. I've got too many tabs open now. I don't know where I am. Let's give Twitter a refresh so that I'm not missing any of your drafts. I'm going to look for names I've seen in the chat today. I can see some are coming quite recently, so maybe I'll hop over here. So Ahmed, hopefully you're in the chat. If you are, give me a wave. Tell me you're here. Nice squad. Again, it's interesting to see this 3-4-3. It's not something that I've come across in too many drafts. I think particularly the Jesus injury has meant that more people are looking for 3-5-2. Oh, we've just had a new member, Linford McConney. Thank you so much for the support, Linford. I think once I've got to a certain number of memberships, you'll be able to see the memberships on the main screen of my channel, which will be an exciting perk for members. But yeah, nice draft again. Salah over Trent, which I think is fine. Still got the key players in the midfield. Rashford, Saka and Bomo, then Salah. And then forwards are Jackson and João Pedro. Nice defence there as well. I'm just comparing that to... No, it's not going to be in there now, is it? Oh no, it is still there. So just comparing that to my 3-5-2. You kind of lose a little bit of strength in the midfield, but retain... Got the wrong tab again. Retain that strength in defence. I do quite like this, actually. It's just if João Pedro starts, because there's not a lot of hope for for bailouts on the bench, is there? Ah, yeah, I can see you've got Baldock first sub, Bayer. Everything's back to front. This is warping my mind. I think it's because in the UK all the subs are left to right. I didn't realise that on the Arabic versions everything goes right. Whoa, everything goes right to left. Interesting though. So yeah, I do like this draft actually. Quite nice for a Salah draft. I'm still not convinced on the 3-4-3. What could you do with that then? Say if we... Can you get Jackson in? Let me just have a little play with this on my own team. Because what Ahmed had, Stones, Gabriella, Stupinan. I'm still not convinced on Stones either, really. It does feel like it could be a nice to have. Yeah, it gives you 6 million for a mid. I guess you could go João Pedro. So it does work. I just think 3-5-2 is stronger, but I think you'd need to go... Who else is 5? That you could slot in your defence. The options at 5 aren't actually that great once you've picked Estepinian and Gabriella, they. Yeah, it's a tricky one. It's tricky. I do like the draft though, Ahmed. I think, Alan, have I done yours already? Oh, going to swap Jackson for Nkunku when he's fit. 0.5 in the bank. Got it, yeah. Like that one. Just seeing who else I've seen in the chat. It does help when you've got the same names. Let's have a look through, see if we can see any more that are particularly interesting. There's 123 of you watching. Thanks so much for joining. If you haven't hit the like button or subscribe to the channel yet, please do. I think we're actually quite close to getting to 19.2k, which doesn't seem like a lot, but I'm trying to get to 20k by game week 1, which is just a week away. So, you know, any help you can give me would be great. Let's have a look at Steve's draft then. Current draft, I like the Villa double up of Pau and Diaby. Think Diaby could be the best 6.5 million midfielder. Now, I think hopefully you've just heard what I've said, Steve, about why I'm not that keen on the Villa players at the moment. And it is purely just down to the fact that tricky fixtures and European involvement is what puts me off. First 4-5-1 I've seen, which is why... Sorry, I'm just going to just pop in the chat. I'm starting to think maybe 4-5-1 is an option, because... the thing that I don't like is, say Haaland suddenly missed out and played 0 minutes. You're then down to 10 men. But there's not going to be huge rotation at City before the international break. Obviously, they've got the Super Cup final. But yeah, it is a little bit more risky. Super Cup final comes after game week 1. Then 3 midweeks in after game week 2 and 3 for City. So unless Haaland got randomly injured, I think you'd be okay. So yeah, Haaland captain, obvious, and then it does allow for double Arsenal, double United, and a 6.5 million midfielder, and then a nice defence as well, which I really like. So the 4-5-1 is tempting, especially if you can't choose a second striker that you like, but it's basically like that Chilwell Stones spot. Do you want Chilwell or Stones, or would you rather have a striker in your team? That's the thing to bear in mind. Lots of chat in the chat about how to get your team rated. If you want to get your team rated, you need to head to my Twitter, or X as it is, and it's on my pinned tweet. You need to include a screenshot from the FPL website or the app, and I'll rate your team on there. I am trying to keep up with the notifications of ones that are just coming in as well. I did promise, because there's a few that I've seen, Harry keeps saying that he sent his team in. So I'm going to do that one first if I can, because I've definitely seen it on this list somewhere. I think it was last night. Is this you, Harry? No, I don't think it is. It's definitely one that just said Harry. Gives you a good idea, though, of what the template is and how people are looking. Sorry, I know this is not particularly great, me just scrolling through. Can't see it, Harry. Don't know what's going on. Did I bookmark it? I've done Marcus's, done Steve. So let's do nuclear atoms, because I know he'll be about, whether he's in the chat now or catching up later. Make this big so that everyone can see it. I feel like Onana's in every team that I've seen. I'm still not convinced. Obviously, great fixtures for United. It might take him a while to settle in the Premier League. Again, very standard draft. 3-4-3 again. You've heard my thoughts on Watkins. You've heard my thoughts on the formation. It's nice to have Chilwell first sub, though. Again, I might play him in game week 1. But again, another really nice draft to look at. I think that's another good one. I feel like a lot of the drafts we're getting in are quite similar. Right, Kuba. I'm guessing you're in the chat as well. I mean, this is copy and paste, isn't it? Has everyone got the same team? I feel like everyone's got different to me. I think it's because I've gone Trent. I think that's the issue. Eze in there, which is a nice pick. I really do quite like Eze in there. I think he's got really great potential. Fixtures are a little bit mixed for Palace. Not that bad. They've got Arsenal at home in game week 2, which is a trickier fixture. Nice to see Foden in there as well. Triple City. Remember, City have got phenomenal fixtures. They are, you know, one of the best sides that the Premier League have ever seen. So to max out with them on fixtures is great. So I would look to him as an option. I think there is some really nice picks in here as well. Saka and Odegaard I like. You're missing Rashford, and I feel like Rashford is a big miss. Just looking at the predicted points on the hub for game week 1. Let's put all positions in. Game week 1 top performer is predicted to be Haaland on 8.2 points. Rashford second on 6.5 points. Rashford is a really key pick for me. And I think it's a similar situation in game week 3. Is that updated? Let me give it a refresh. The thing with Rashford is it's his home form that's just superb. So yeah, game week 1 and game week 3, Rashford is predicted to be the highest scoring player behind Haaland. Again, you can get those predictions on the hub. If you remember, you can filter it by position, by game week, whatever you want. Last season, this is also quite interesting. If you filter by home games, only Haaland scored more FPL points in home games than Rashford. And you look at goals scored in home games, he's third to Haaland and Kane. 13 of his 17 goals came at Old Trafford last season. And then you look at the fixtures, game week 1 at home to Wolves, game week 3 at home to Forest. To me, those fixtures just scream goals for Rashford, which is why I think he's a really important pick to have in your draft. So I guess that's where you've had to compromise to get some of these other picks in. Football Criteria has just said in the chat, I can't even say his name, Højlund arrived. I'm going to call him Rasmus. I don't think he's not in the game yet, is he? Has he been announced by the club yet? We don't know how much he is. It's all a mystery. But yeah, I think the arrival of a striker is going to benefit both Rashford and Fernandes, because Fernandes has got a target man. Rashford's got someone to properly use as decoy, and he plays better as a winger than a centre forward anyway. So that would be the thing. I can see you said in the chat, Bruno or Rashford for me. I'm more confident in Bruno, pens and playmaking. Yeah, I don't think the arrival of a proper striker for United is going to make Rashford a bad pick, though. Right, let's get this stream to 100 likes. We're not there yet, guys. There's over 150 of you watching. So do your thing. Give it a share. Whatever you need to do. Show me some love. Really appreciating the support, though, as well. Let's have a look at some more drafts. Andy, please rate my team. Hang on, I might need to just switch to the other screen so that you can see it properly. Different one, this one, which is nice to see a change. Alisson in goal. I think if you're spending £5.5 million on a goalkeeper to start the season, I think Alisson's probably the better pick long term. But I think in the opening game weeks with City's fixtures, Ederson's the better pick. Again, the points predictions for goalkeepers. Game week 1, Ederson. First 4 game weeks, still Ederson. First 8 game weeks, still Ederson. I think Liverpool's fixtures don't help, but I do think that Ederson can have a really good start to the season. Now, I know he's not been phenomenal at times last season, particularly towards the end of the season when the pressure was on City to win and grind out results. Maybe a little bit lapses of concentration because of the amount of possession that City had on the counter, sometimes made silly mistakes. However, I think early on in the season, no pressure for City, playing, without any of the pressure, having won the treble last season. I think Ederson is a far better pick than Alisson if you want to spend that much. I prefer Gabriel to Saliba as the Arsenal defender because he's got that goal threat. 10 goals in 3 seasons at Arsenal. I think it's easy to go with him. Botman is fine, but I think he's fine to play game week 1. But subsequent game weeks, I think on those subsequent game weeks, the fixtures are tricky for for Newcastle, sorry. He's got City game week 2, Liverpool game week 3. Not going to want to play for those. I don't know whether Wan-Bissaka or Dalot starts for United. Bit of a headache. So I think the defence needs a little bit of work. I think if you was to swap Wan-Bissaka for someone like a Brentford defender like Rico Henry, then it'd be okay. Odegaard and Saka in midfield is nice with Rashford and Foden. Darwin Núñez, not convinced. And Kunku got the flag. It's the forward line that needs a bit of work. I think at this stage, swapping to a 3-5-2 could be the way to go to strengthen this. But yeah, some really nice picks in there. It's the forward line, Saliba, Botman, Alisson would be the things that I'd work on. But price points wise, it's well thought out. Just a few tweaks needed to really, make it into an excellent squad. I'll keep checking to see what we've got on Twitter. Callum, got your draft in now as well. Onana, Stones, Gabriella, Stephen, and everyone seems to be on that line. Strong midfield. We've talked about Martinelli v Odegaard. I feel like I've seen this draft already. Has everyone got the same team? Is it just me that's got Trent? Yeah, it's a good squad, again. I prefer Odegaard to Martinelli. Jackson, I think, is fine for a punt. I think you could spend a little bit more in midfield. I don't think you need Stones and then Chilwell as a first sub. I think you need to just commit to your defenders. Because you're going to have to bench one of those each week, and I don't think that really works. That's all I'd say on that one. But yeah, a nice draft. I keep thinking my team. Right. Where is my team? Here we go. Let's get the right tab. We've hit 100 likes, guys. Thank you. Thanks for the support. Keep going. Keep hitting that like button. Keep subscribing to the channel. I'd love to hit 19.2k subs on the stream. We're about 5 off. So if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, please do. And if you're enjoying all the tools that I'm using, you know, Maker Richards, the 50% off hub, go for it. The link is pinned on the chat. It's also in the description. There's no excuses. Get yourself on the hub. It really is brilliant. It's going to help you win your mini leagues this season, make you a better FPL manager. Right, so I need a little bit of help with my team. I've done a lot of drafts here. I want you to advise me. I'm happy to lose Trent. I'm not convinced he's the best option. I could easily go for Chilwell. But where do I spend that 2.5 million? That's the question. Yeah, I can lose Visser. I can get Watkins. But if I'm going to lose Trent, and all I'm doing with the money is getting Watkins, who I don't really want, I don't know if it's worth it. That's my problem. Do I get Salah? It will mean losing Odegaard, which is a bit painful, but I think I can do it. I do think, and I did say earlier in pre-season that I thought that Odegaard was a better pick than Saka, but I think Jesus being out changes this. If we look at the Opta stats between game week 17 and 26 last season, I think I've done that right. For Arsenal players, I have done it right. Saka got more goal involvements than Odegaard, Martinelli and Nketiah. He also got more FPL points. And although Nketiah had a lot of big chances, he was wasteful. But then Saka was still doing well in terms of the underlying numbers that you'd like to see. Shots on goal, shots on target. He was top for shots on target among Arsenal players in that time. So, essentially, if I'm losing Trent, I think I would like to get Salah in. I think it still works, the draft that I showed. So João Pedro would come in and Rico Henry would have to be my third defender. That's the bit that I'm a bit confused on. So that's what I'm looking at. So it is really difficult to get this right. The other option is that I don't get Salah. Sorry, got a bit of a cough. Haven't got a drink with me. Rookie mistake. So I could get... don't know why I'm drawn to Chilwell. Have I got Salah in? No, this is not getting Salah, wasn't it? So if I went Trent down to Chilwell, where do I spend the extra 2.5 million on my squad? That's the bit I'm confused on. I did share on my video yesterday, so I could go with Edison. And I could go with Jackson, maybe. I'm not getting Darwin Núñez, I can tell you that much. So I could do that. I've got $500,000 in the bank. Could get myself a good first sub. But I don't feel like that squad's particularly stronger, having spread the funds around. That's the thing that I'm a bit confused on at the moment. Still a bit of thinking to do. We've got a week to go though, guys. We do not need to worry. It's coming together. I do quite like my team though. If I show you it properly again, I look at it and I just think I've got all the key men there. I love the midfield. I'm not convinced doubling up on Brentford attackers is the way to go. But I could drop Visser down to João Pedro, and I could spend a bit more money on the goalkeeper. I could get Onana, but am I just getting Onana because everyone else is getting Onana? That's the thing that I'm confused about. So yeah, a few things to think about there. Right, Linford, who is a new member to the channel, has gone and sent his team on Twitter. So I'm going to try and find that somewhere among my notifications. Here we go. Thanks for the support, Linford, by the way. Right, hopefully you can see this. Yeah, so if you are a channel member, by the way, guys, you can get priority access to getting your questions answered on streams. You also get access to private Discord channel, which is really cool. It just helps to support me in terms of bringing you more content. I've done lots of upgrades on the tech recently as well. So if we have a look at Linford's draft, it's looking pretty good. I could do quite like this as a Salah team. Again, it's Botman first sub, but Henry on the bench. That's a little bit more encouraging here in terms of having a little bit more squad depth as well as keeping Salah in the team. It's the no United midfield. Is this your latest draft, Linford? Have you heard the news that Jesus is injured and he's going to miss game week 1? So you need to lose Jesus. I would move to a 3-5-2 and get Rashford in midfield. The thing that's killing it is having Haaland, Salah and Trent, but I do think it's potentially doable. Let me just show you. I'm going to tinker with my... Maybe I'll do it on the My Team tool. There's lots of similar picks here. I want to not lose the essence of your squad, Linford, but Vinicius is a rotation risk at Fulham. Mitrovic hasn't left. Jimenez has come in the window as well. So there's a few kind of moving parts here. So you've gone Jackson for Jesus. So I would go down to Mubama and move to a 3-5-2. So you've got Mbomo. I'm just trying to see if you can get a United midfielder in. You've got Enciso at the minute, and I don't love him as a pick because he is going to be a rotation risk. But I think some of your other picks are fine. So we've got Onana in goal. We've got Trent, Estupiñán and Botman, and Bomo, Salah, Saka and Enciso. So I need to get Salah in, don't I? Right, I'm miles off. You've got Baldock as well, haven't you? Is that right? Or is it Baldock and Henry? We're getting there, aren't we? Onana, Trent, Botman. Botman I need there, look. Right, I think if you was to lose... Yeah, it's so tricky to get Trent, Salah and Haaland in a team and still have a United midfielder, still have an Arsenal midfielder. He's getting there though. It's getting there. We need 2.5 million. I think the way to do it, and I can't remember the name of the Crystal Palace midfielder, the cheap one. The way to do it may be to go into a 4-4-2 potentially. If we do it like this, switch to Rico Henry. We're still a 1.5 million off. We're not even getting close. It's really difficult. It's really difficult to get them all in. I don't think that helped, did it? Where are you going to get 1.5 million from in this squad? I know what you could do. It's a punt. You may not like the punt. Gonna have to... Oh. I think this is kind of as good as it gets for a Trent, Salah and Haaland draft. Thinking of bringing in Diaby, yeah, that's fine as well. That would be something like that would be what I'd go for, Linford, but I think it's too much. I think you need to go Trent or Salah rather than both. That would be my big piece of feedback on that one. Right, I'm going to do one more. Who's going to be lucky? Who's the last one that we've got in? Clue, do you know? You are in luck. You are the last one that we're going to do. Maybe I'll do another one. I'm just looking. This one's fairly standard, isn't it? Yeah, it's not nothing special there. I do quite like spending a bit less on the second goalkeeper. Let's pick someone that we know is in the chat. Have I seen hands in? There's so many names, I can barely keep up. Is there any more coming in? Right, let's have a look at this one. Players with guaranteed minutes plan to move Matoma to another 6.5 mid after the first 3. Rotate the defenders. First time I've seen Martinez in a draft. I think he could be a good pick. I do quite like Edison in there. Watkins. This is a really, really nice draft, actually. I'm tempted to put this in and get this one rated, actually. We'll do another AI rating. I'm just going to take a picture of it so that I can put it in. So I'm not flicking about between tabs. In theory, I'm interested to see what the AI says about this one. So we've got Edison in goal, who I think could be a bit of a differential in here. So it's quite a strong defence, isn't it? I think maybe, I know obviously having a defensive rotation is nice in theory, but you could get absolutely punished in terms of, you know, those players that are stuck on your bench with points. There's nothing worse, really. Right, so we've got Matoma in there as well. I think the algorithm's going to absolutely love this draft, by the way. This is why I'm doing it. I reckon this could be like 100%er. Is that everyone? Bentley in there. Hang on. We're getting there. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. Right, let's save and optimise. Oh, it's actually lower. Have I got Gabrielle in? Oh, is Botman still in? That's why. I knew that wasn't looking quite right. That should bump it up a bit. And then we've got Rashford, Fernandes, Saka, Matoma, and Bomo, Haaland, Watkins, Chilwell, Henry, Mubama, Bentley. Save, optimise. 95%. Yep, it's looking quite good, isn't it? I mean, I did think it was going to be higher, which obviously it isn't, which is a bit disappointing. But again, a really nice draft. Now, remember, anyone can get their team rated by AI on Fantasy Football Hub. As I've just done there, put your team in, give it a percentage, and it does generate it for future game weeks, so it'll put your subs out and in, gives you a predicted points for the week. So I think it's a really good tool to check out, but if you are wanting more of the rounded experience of all of the fantastic tools on offer on Fantasy Football Hub, then get the membership with that 50% off, win your mini league or your money back. You basically got nothing to lose. Get your membership, use it all season. If you don't win your mini league, then you get your money back. But it will make you into a better fantasy manager. Everything is designed to help you win your mini league. Now, if you haven't managed to get your draft rated by me today, don't worry, there's still opportunities. You can join my Discord channel. You can get your team rated by me on there. Members, there's a members only area with the Rate My Team service. There's actually on the hub as well. Let me just show you this. There's ultra memberships on Fantasy Football Hub where you can get your team reviewed by an expert once a month. Could be me, might be someone else. I'm sure if you ask for me, they'll make sure you get me. You also get a secret WhatsApp community, which is really, really great. I'm in there at the moment. Invite to the end of year meetup, which I'll be at as well. So if you are interested in joining the hub, the link is pinned in the video. I'll pop it in the chat as well a few times as well. But yeah, it's really fantastic service. I don't think you'll regret it. You can't regret it anyway, because if you don't win your mini league, you'll get your money back. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. It's been great to have over 100 of you on here. Remember, you need to be back here this time next week for the press conference stream. We've hit 19.2k subs, which is amazing. So thank you so much for the support. I've been putting out so many videos during pre-season, so to finally see you know, lots of engagement on there, comments, likes, you guys really helping me out. It is really, really appreciated. Have a good next week tinkering. Keep an eye on all the stuff on the channel. Make sure if you're hitting that notify button, it'll tell you whenever I'm going live, whenever there's a new video up there as well. Thank you for joining, everyone. I'll be back very soon.